Wanna be family. I know you drop it sometimes. That's who I'm gonna be.
Well, it's April Fool's Day. First time boys at fishing back out after the lockdown. We're at Wearside in Lancaster, Pag 12, Foxes Lake. We'll go through a couple of rigs later. We're doing quite a few PVA bags today, possibly a Zig as well. I'll explain all that. I'll show you soon. I find when I'm making PVA bags in advance, they seem to go a little bit saggy over time. So what I do, instead of making them fully when I'm preparing them, is I tie the top off and then I lick them and stick them. That way they're as tight as I can get them. One side down. Two side down. And that costs for miles. These have been in the back of the garage in salt for over 2 years now. So I'm going to give them a try in the PVA bags while we're out this time. There's two types of rigs that I've been using in them PVA bags. This is the first one. I put a shot on it. You can move that up or down to whatever height you want it at. I always try to keep it as little weight as possible so that it takes the weight off the pop-up. You can just add a putty to that if needs be. I've done this, I've wrapped it around 13 times and left the hair on it. For the bottom bit, it's just the same, but without the shot. I've wrapped it around 13 times, and then above the hair, I've wrapped it around 3, so it gives it a KD style, and that kicks the bait out. Well, I personally think it kicks the bait out a little bit better. Zigging, completely different story. What I do is take a 3-ounce lead, take the insert out of it, swap it with a long tail rubber. That way it can fit in nice and tight. I'm fishing in about 9 foot of water, so I've done my zig, you can see that, to about 5 foot. What I do, I fish this tight to the lead with a heavy back, with a heavy back lead sort of thing on it, bobbin, sorry. This one is the heaviest one I've got, and I fish it captive just by putting some fishing line in there and tying it to the end of it. That way if I do get a drop back, it's nice and heavy and it falls. Yesterday it was sunny, but it was very, very windy. This is why my rods are set up like this. I had the tips as much into the water as I could to avoid as much wind as possible. Also, what I've done today, the right hand rod is on a running rig, 3-ounce running rig with a mesh ball on the end. The second rod is on a salted PVA bag, and the third one is the Zig. Now that's the heavy bobbin that I was on about. What I'm doing with that, I'm fishing tight to the lead, so that if it moves back, forward, whichever way, something's going to happen to that bobbin. Also, a little trick when fishing running rigs, especially the run ring. What I do, I cast out, I sink the line as best I can, and I set my drag on my reel so as to allow some for the bobbin. It's a bit tricky, but once you get it set perfect, the bobbin will stay there. If you set it too tight, your line raises. If you set it too slack, your bobbin just sinks to the floor. There's a bit of a knack to it. If you spend 5 minutes doing that, it's it'll give you a much better take. Also, your reel, once the fish does bite, if it bites, will help the hook hold as well. Well, it's 2/3 of the boys at fishing crew here now. You can see Chubbs is just about to do some spotting. Yep, he's missed the van. Good do. Right, we've seen on a few Facebook pages about the washing line setup and people thinking that it's not real. What we've done here, we've extended the pole up into the air and we've cast across to the point bank where we have another more.
Right, so following on to what Chris has just said, this is the other end of the drop back. We've just used a little bit of a stick, so it's a tightish line across, so as soon as a fish comes back we will have a drop back, and then when the line goes tight we should get a run going down into there somewhere.
We've set up on the ford bank. Zoom in on it and then end it.
Okay.
Why are you filming now?
Yes.
Why are you doing it sideways?
Because it just gets your body in it.
Well, we've finally been allowed out.